Arthur the Rat. Once there was a young rat named Arthur who would never make up his mind. Whenever his friends asked him if he'd like to go out with them, he would only answer, "I don't know." He wouldn't say yes or no either. He'd always shrink, making choice. His Aunt Helen said to him, "Now look here, no one is going to care for you if you carry on like this. You have no more mind than a blade of grass." One rainy day, the rat heard a great noise in the loft. The pine rafters were all rotten, so that the barn was rather unsafe. At last, the joist gave way and fell to the ground. The walls shook, and all the rat's hair stood on end with fear and horror. This won't do," said the captain. "I'll send out scouts to search for a new home." Within 5 hours, the 10 scouts came back and said, "We found a stone house where there is a room and board for all of us. There is a kindly horse named Nelly, a cow, a calf, and a garden with an elm tree." The rats crawled out of their little houses and stood on the floor in a long line. Just then the old one saw Arthur. "Stop," he ordered coarsely. "You are coming, of course." "Oh, I'm not certain," said Arthur, undaunted. "The roof may not come down yet." "Well," said the angry old rat, "we can't wait for you to join us. Right about face, march!" Arthur stood and watched them hurry away. "I think I'll go tomorrow," he calmly said to himself. "But then again, I don't know. It's nice and snug here." That night there was a big crash. In the morning, some men with some boys and some girls rode up and looked at the barn. One of them moved a board, and he saw a young rat quite dead, half in, half out of his hole. Thus the shirker got his due. Kit. The little kitten thinks it's a pretty big fish. Dress. Many of Jeff's best friends slept in mesh tents in pleasant weather. Trap. The harrowing black cat dashes at any man and lands on the plaid carriage. Lot. The honest swan stops and acknowledges the fox dodging the bothered wasp. Strut. Mother loves butter that comes from the southern countryside. Foot. The butcher should put the pudding in the wooden nook to cook. Bath. Can't half the staff ask to transfer to the enchanted castle in France. Cloth. Lawrence often offers Ross a Florida orange and horribly strong frothy Boston coffee. Nurse. The early bird preferred the earthly worm. Fleece. These unique machines teach people to speak and reason. Face. The raven waits until late day for the great wave to break. Palm. Father and Ma said to calm the facade in the Nevada Plaza. Thought. A small walrus caught the hawk in the salty water. Goat. The rose slowly grows in Owen's old grove. Goose. Beautiful music booms and humans move to the groove. Price. The shy writer types at night to fight the silence in my mind. Choice. The spoiled boy hoists the toy from the soil. Mouth. Mountains of flowers crowd the grounds about the house. Near. Deirdre's fear seriously interferes with her ideal career. Square. Beware of scarce fairies, rare mares, and scary prairie bears. Start. The Sahara Party marvels at Far Star on the safari. North. Laura's warm aura reforms. Thor's horse for the important war. Force. The adorable boar snoozes hoarsely and notoriously hoards imported pork. Cure. The tourists endeavour rural tours of Europe and procures gourmet bourbon. Happy. The coffee, salami, spaghetti and macaroon are ready. Letter. Sugar covers the tiger's whiskers. Comma. Bertha's and Cinderella's sage is a drama. R. Richard, Wilbur and Harry are running behind the treacherous river. L. Linda and Ali pull belly muscles laughing laboriously. NG, the singing mockingbird is swinging on the ring and dings the awning. TH, the thespian gather and breathe 3 authentic breaths together. H, Harry and Hilary's happily harvest heaps of herbs behind the beehive. YOD, the cute, dutiful blue cuckoo resumes cooing suitable tunes enthusiastically. W, Will and Drew whistle when the wind blows between the whimsical weeping willows. ING, Mrs. Fanning is walking and hiking in Wyoming. S, Susie lives in her sister's house on Easy Street with her Siamese cats and Siberian husky dogs.
So what was the dance that you did?
So I did most. I did ballet, I did tap, I did ballroom, I did modern, I did stage. I just pretty much all of it. I loved it.
And what age did you do it to?
So I probably stopped doing that when I was about 27, 28.
And were you doing it professionally?
I did a little bit of semi-professional stuff. It was lucky. I had a group of people I worked with around Watford and London, and we kind of formed our own group, and we would go and work with different companies doing that stuff. It was great fun.
London is from where you were raised? Or
yeah, that's from my dad and some of his family. His family were based in London. My dad was actually proper cockney. He was born within the sound of Bow Bells. And for some reason I'd never known yet, I must find out one day, he also got an honorary thing, the keys to London, which means you're allowed to drive sheep across a bridge in London, which is crazy, but that's one of the things you get. Yeah, I think probably a big decision I made, and I probably made the wrong choice to be fair, was I loved living in Canada, but my mum got sick. And unfortunately with Canada, it's quite difficult to get a visa, working visa. And I was not being very successful at getting that, but I was intent on trying to move forward with it. But when my mum became ill, I kind of went, doesn't look like it's going to happen anyway, because I hit a bit of a low, and decided to come home, help mum, which is fine. But I think I probably should have stayed. Yeah.
What was it about Canada?
It was the open space. It was the seasons, which I loved because they were very distinct, which you probably understand. So I love that. I loved Canadian people, and I liked the ease in which you can live in Canada. I felt very unrestricted. But I think I probably felt more me, whatever that might have been, there.
And where in Canada were you?
Toronto. Or Toronto, as they call it over there.
Do you have someone who inspires you and why?
Particular person? No, probably not. But I love art and I love photography, and I take a lot of inspiration from looking and seeing and stuff. Obviously, dancers inspire me as well because I enjoy dance, and probably a lot of musicians because I love music. So all of those things I would say influence me.
Is there
somewhat.
a particular either piece of music or a dance or a painting or a photograph that you're like, oh, could you describe it to me?
So there's a particular piece by I've forgotten her name. Where's that gone? Georgia O'Keeffe, and she did a lot of close-up flowers, and her reasoning behind that was most of us don't take the time to look properly at things. And not, as a photographer, that really inspired me, but her work was also incredibly sensual, and it made me realize how much there is sensual in nature as well. It's not just within people. And actually how strong and similar forms can be between people and nature. So yeah, she really inspired me.
And do you either have, can you share either the best advice you've ever been given or a best piece of advice that you could give for me or anyone?
Best piece of advice I've ever been given.
Or that you want to share?
I think the best advice I've ever heard is to really work out who you are as a person, what inspires you, what you like, what you don't like, and try and work out the reasons you do or don't like him. So you know, and I think you get a better understanding of yourself. And I think if you have a good understanding of yourself, you'll probably be able to take a little bit more pride in yourself because you have reason behind it.